Okay, so of of nanomachines and freaky bug sex, we bring you the recap of the Godzilla anime.
Yeah, I don't know exactly what we're recapping, but
Well,
we're
like,
here for tradition's sake.
well, tradition, and also it's important because we completely forgot to actually talk about the entirety of the anime as a whole, because it is a whole story.
Not a very good one. What if Ghidorah was summoned by fear and hatred?
From three spheres in the
The
sky.
spheres of hatred and fear and
Crappy CG noodle dragons.
yeah, here they are.
They just come down and they kind of nibble on you.
Remember when the movie was about Godzilla terraforming the Earth to better suit his mood?
Yeah, and then we had to rush to summon Ghidorah.
Yeah, but I mean, at least we got Godzilla to fight a city.
Whoa, what a fight it was!
You know, I think the fight with the city would have been way funnier if Mechagodzilla City had like made tanks and stuff, and they just drove around. But instead of having cannons, they were like Godzilla heads. Like it was a tank, but with like a Mechagodzilla head that shoots beams.
Okay, we're going in like Power Rangers directions.
It'd be funny though. It'd be more interesting than just he built cannons.
But it made cool mechs that flew and stuff.
Not on its own. They had to take a mech from before.
Yeah, still, it was kind of cool. Anyway, so we start with, so we start with the beginning with,
Grandpa exploded.
Well, first it's like, I'm gonna do a thing, and then they arrest him, and then Grandpa explodes.
I'm gonna explode this ship if you don't let Grandpa. If you tell Grandpa to go, and then Grandpa exploded, and I'm like, well, I guess plot saved.
Explosion damped off the ship. I guess it's fine.
He got front row seat to it. Like they had this nice little window put in the floor.
Yep.
And he got to watch Grandpa explode. Grandpa chunks everywhere.
Good times. And then he's like, damn you, Godzilla. And it's like, that seems a bit far removed from blaming Godzilla, but okay. And then
Godzilla's like 10,000 years in the future past thing. I don't know. You're not on Earth right now.
And my favorite part is like, you posted how to kill Godzilla on 4chan and people are taking it seriously.
I can't believe he had access to the internet in his jail cell.
Well, that had to do with the elf alien dude. Totally.
Fair enough.
Yep. So, and they're like, well, why don't we go back to Earth? That'll be a thing.
Maybe Godzilla died. He just got old.
That'll be fine.
He fell down and he couldn't get back up. He didn't have life alert.
Terrible. Yeah, so they show up and they're like, uh-oh, Godzilla's still there. And so they send a team down, including the once anonymous and now known author of How to Kill Godzilla for Dummies, Mr. Haruo. And then everything goes to crap, and they get attacked by mini flying Godzillas, and
Don't forget the razor sharp foliage.
that was crazy.
It was really sharp and it was dumb.
Dude, it's like, yeah, it was dumb. And then they managed to kill it. And then they're like, we did it. We killed the Godzilla. And then the earth started to shake. And then 300-meter tall Godzilla came out and went, fuck you.
Old man Godzilla shaking his fist, telling everybody to get off his lawn.
Oh, and he made them get the fuck off his lawn. That old man pulled out the equivalent of a goddamn shotgun and blew those people the fuck away.
I feel like it wasn't a shotgun. It had to be something bigger.
Okay, he pulled out the equivalent of the BFG and
Yeah.
just basically wiped them out. And one of the coolest parts was that he swiped his tail so fucking fast it created a goddamn energy wave.
That he never used again.
Get fucked. God, that was lame. It's because he didn't have any other monsters to fight. They decided Mechagodzilla would just be a city. Which leads us into the next movie.
Where Mechagodzilla was a city.
Crazy. But first, he has to meet the bug ladies. Who cover him in their secretions. The sparkly golden powder.
Yeah, so he's no longer affected by nanometal.
If anything, it makes him sick. We forgot about the childhood friend who's like, I have to become stronger while she's sitting in a goddamn mecha suit. And it's like, you fucking idiot. You're dumb. And she nearly died, and I was just kind of hoping I didn't want her to die necessarily, but I didn't really like her. I thought she was kind of dumb.
I wanted her to go away in the worst way possible.
Well, don't worry. We'll get there. So they discover Mechagodzilla City, and the dwarf dudes are like, oh my god, run. They're like frothing at the mouth at getting access to Mechagodzilla City.
Oh man, robots are so sexy.
Oh man.
I love me some metal. Put me in it.
Oh dude, just all in it. Just
let those nanomachines crawl over my body.
Get all up in there and all the crevices. But
this hole was made for me. It's my hole.
Oh my lord. and so they decide to lure in Godzilla and freeze him in nanometal, and then do the exact same thing they did to the first Godzilla, where they overload his shield and blast away.
I mean, to be fair, it worked. It worked the first time.
It did.
It almost worked the second time.
Almost.
If only he decided to transcend humanity and become a robot. But he couldn't do that with all the bug juices on him.
Nope, the bug parts were like no, but we forgot that there was a setup, and I was so excited because I was sitting there and I watched as the childhood friend kissed him, and the bug girl reacted. And I was like, oh man, we got a love triangle going on. There is the possibility for freaky bug sex, and I am here for it.
I mean, you also forgot the scene at the near the beginning, before they even learn about Mechagodzilla, is one of the bug girls is getting really close to him.
Oh, and she starts to freak out.
And she just has like this, like, oh no, not a girl coming into my territory. I better go stomp off angrily into this menacing looking swamp. Oh no, tentacles.
Yep, she got biolantate. It was hilarious. She almost died. Would have been a better way to go than the way she did. So, yeah, she gets taken over by nanometal, and her ship thing explodes, but he manages to catch her, but she's already dead. Brain dead anyway.
Yeah. Okay, so the reason they needed to switch over to nanometal is because there was only one weak point in the entire robot.
Yes.
One point that was weak to very hot temperatures. It was them.
Yep.
They were the weak point.
It was the humans. They couldn't be human anymore. They had to become machine.
And he rejected machine.
Because bugs.
And then he killed machine.
Yep.
Because bugs.
Yep.
The power of bugs is stronger.
Hooray! And so we cut back, and like everyone's sad, kind of.
Dang,
Haru's sad.
We didn't kill Godzilla.
We didn't kill Godzilla. My childhood friend is dead.
My boner is going limp.
My rage boner is going away.
I'm going flaccid.
My confidence is gone. I can't keep it up anymore. And then Elf Alien's like, you were all saved because God miracles. Now it's time to all pray to God. And,
all hail the Garbitron.
Oh, the power of garbage calculating the Ghidorah. The Ghidorah of garbage.
I mean, he kind of was.
Yeah, he was trash. But yeah, but then there's the fucking mutiny, and then this recap sucks.
This trilogy kind of sucked.
It really did.
It kind of fell apart after the first movie.
I mean, even the second movie, like, it had continuity going for it that like could have worked out, but then the third movie was just it was the turbo fumble. Like they just dropped the ball over and over and over and just tripped over themselves. Like they had all these great ideas, but they couldn't explain them, and like they didn't even bother to explain them. Like the only reason I even understood some of the connections that were there was because I was a weird nerd who knew about some of this shit. They didn't explain it in the movie. They didn't talk about theories about gravity.
Well, they didn't have time. They had to keep telling you, we can see it, but the machines can't. But we can see it. Anyway, so is this the Curse of Ghidorah? Because I just had a thought that every time Ghidorah shows up in a new series, it starts to tank.
No, because Astro Monster exists.
That wasn't the first time he showed up.
No, but it wasn't a tank.
No, but Ghidorah the Three-Headed Monster, didn't that go down?
A little bit. But that was after King Kong. And King Kong didn't get that high of a score.
Wasn't it after Mothra? I'm pretty sure.
Oh, yeah, no, it was after Mothra.
And then you get into Heisei, and then again after Violante.
Yeah, you enter Ghidorah, and it's just not great. It eventually recovers.
Yeah, at the very end.
But yeah, Ghidorah's first movie in all iterations that I'm aware of for Japanese releases has been trash.
The exception is kind of just GMK, but that's because it's not Ghidorah the bad guy.
Yeah, and to be honest, Ghidorah still kind of jobs.
Yeah, he kind of does. He kind of explodes.
It gets
Curse of Ghidorah. Just
get fucked.
first time he shows up, he tanks this. He starts to tank it.
Dude, you know how bad Showa is? The next time after Astro Monster, the Ghidorah shows up.
Yeah, wild. I know.
Fucking gets strangled to death by Manila.
Yeah, and then he comes back for Gigan.
Yeah. What a shitty fucking movie. Jesus Christ, Ghidorah sucks.
Ghidorah got one good movie so far as the villain.
Yeah.
And he really wasn't even the villain in that movie. He was just kind of there.
Yeah.
Godzilla was more of a villain in that movie. Godzilla got mind controlled.
Yeah, but yeah, I don't know. It's just either way, like Ghidorah. It feels like Ghidorah is Godzilla's rival because of tradition and not because of quality.
Yeah.
Not because he's good, but because we've done it before.
Yeah. Yeah, that sounds about right. Anyway, going back to Ghidorah's outing in anime time. Shit, where were we? Aside from Ghidorah shows up because of Cult.
Yeah.
And then Ghidorah goes away because everybody's dead. And
well,
the feeling of hatred and fear is gone now.
Well, no, I was about to get to, like... and then we're dealing with all the problems on the spaceship because the Bella Saluto, who are the dwarf aliens, even though, I mean, they're not dwarves, but they act like dwarves. They're all mad because Mechagodzilla got broken and they start a mutiny. And in order to stop the mutiny, the plan is to hide Haruo because Haruo is clearly the problem and the reason why people are freaking out. And so the Bug Girls decide they're going to hide him. And I was like, oh yeah.
Yeah,
it's time.
They hid them in their shack.
It's time.
On the mountainside.
They got him alone. It's time. It's time for that depressed, lost someone I cared about freaky bug sex.
It's time to become Win.
Dude, don't become Lose. But anyway, and they even play with those expectations because the first try is like, oh no, darn, And then the second one comes in and it's like, yes! And then you get the absolute confirmation. I was like, yes! And then he has a kid with her! Which is even like they took it even a step further. And her hair got weird.
She got old.
She wasn't that old.
They
like fuck with her hair.
They moved her bangs to symbolize that the bangs has happened.
But yeah, no, and but then he gets hit with the fucking Garbitron vision telling him that like you're basically the key to humanity's destruction because you hate Godzilla and whatnot, and your hatred is gonna drive innovation, and
your hatred will summon Ghidorah.
Your hatred will summon another giant monster and summon Ghidorah, so you have to go. And so he decides to commit suicide with his brain-dead ex-nanomachine girlfriend in the flying robot, and just crashes into Godzilla, and it's whatever.
It was a good time for everybody.
And it's just like... It just... Like, okay... I need to break this down because my problem with it is not that it's a sad ending. It's because it's not. It's confusing. That's what makes me so angry.
He committed Sudoku.
Because he was mad? That's not Sudoku. You commit Sudoku when numbers are too hard, but also when you feel shame. He didn't feel shame.
No, he felt hatred, which is like shame's younger brother or older brother.
Lord, and he had this life. He had this life that would clearly lead to peace, but because for whatever reason he was like, I can't let go of my hate boner for Godzilla.
Man was hearing Ghidorah in his sleep.
No, he was hearing...
You say something and boom, you trigger Ghidorah bells all damn day, and man, that would be really annoying to live with. You know, you're just like, you're out there with your bug soup, you're drinking it, somebody's like, man, technology sure is cool, and then you hear Ghidorah on the fucking shoulder. You're like, damn it, again? This won't go away until I just fucking stop thinking about technology. And then you're going to bed with your bug wife and like your neighbor because the walls are thin. He's like, technology! I turned on my lamp again, and then you hear the Ghidorah.
Oh my god! It's just like, again, like my problem with it is not that it's a bittersweet ending. Like
everybody who I cared about lived. Godzilla and the Bug Lady.
Well,
and maybe Scientist Man. He got to change clothes.
But like, it's that there must be something like innately Japanese about his sacrifice being such a big deal. But like, just the idea that he just couldn't let it go. It's like that. The need to like blow it all up. To me, I thought he was just gonna dump the body somewhere, which I thought was kind of dark. But because I thought all he had to do was get rid of the nanomachines.
Yeah,
that's where I thought it was going. I expected him to like crash the ship into Godzilla and like eject, but no. The man was like, but my hatred will bring about the next Godzilla, despite the fact that Godzilla already exists. And I'm just like...
No, it will bring back Ghidorah. He's not going to bring another Godzilla. He's going to bring back...
But the whole idea was that...
Ghidorah will be watching him, and now that he's dead, Ghidorah has nothing to watch. Ghidorah is literally just watching static now. He's got to tell his noodle head to go over to the remote so he can change the channel on the TV.
But, like... I mean, again, like... I know that there are things in Japanese culture and media where it's noble for the hero to sacrifice what makes them happy just as a form of like self-flagellation, like when Majima doesn't get to be with the one girl from Yakuza 0. Like, that's a Japanese thing that it's considered to be noble to not take what you actually want.
Oh, I assume he let her go because he knew he had to become a construction worker.
What?
In Yakuza 2, he's a construction worker.
Great.
He owns a business.
Oh, okay.
And he builds like a high-rise.
Cool.
For all the homeless people or something like... No, not the homeless people. He takes the park that the homeless people hang out in and he builds a high-rise on top of it. For money.
Cool. Anyway.
And then he learns how to make shadow clones. Anyway,
No, but like... I even in that context, the hero lives on not having that thing, whereas this man just kills himself abandons his pregnant bug girlfriend and the happy life, the happy peaceful life he clearly would have lived. And like the whole trigger for it was him being told we could make cities again, and then he has the vision and the Ghidorah starts like tweeting at him and he's like, I'm gonna block you on Twitter, and Ghidorah's like, I own Twitter. Anyway, that's fucking stupid. The ending to me just...
They wanted to make a definitive end where he could not come back, and then Ghidorah happened again. We couldn't get the anime quadrilogy where Ghidorah shows up again as Mecha King Ghidorah.
Mecha Planet Eater Ghidorah.
It could happen.
It's fucking dumb.
You know, Ghidorah made of nanomachines and gravity.
That's terrible.
Like he becomes Mecha Ghidorah City.
No.
The Planet Eater.
The City in the Sky. Just that Power Hour episode. Anyway, my problems with this ending is that I don't feel like it doesn't it doesn't even sync up with the themes of the actual movie that it takes part in, because the whole point of Haruo fighting against Metfi's like mind control stuff is to not accept destruction, death, and sacrifice, and to live on. And then at the end, he kills himself!
He lived on in the spirit. As a bug baby.
It just screams like we had to end it in a way where it was over, and it couldn't go anywhere, and there couldn't be any more going on, and I'm just like... The end didn't fit. It didn't make sense to me. It felt awful, and not in a way that made me appreciate it. It felt awful because it was confusing as fuck, and it just didn't make any sense. Among tons of other things that didn't make any sense in the last part in the last part of this.
I don't know. It made perfect sense. We can see it, but the computers can't.
Oh no, he shattered the contact lens. Now Godzilla can lazily bitch slap Ghidorah. Bitch.
Oh, Godzilla moved really slow in this one. Like, even slower than he moved in the other two.
I know.
And, like, one of them, the climax was him walking down a hallway.
What?
In the Mechagodzilla scene.
Oh, the Mechagodzilla one? Yeah.
It was him walking down what was essentially a hallway.
Well, here's my problem, though, is, like, he moves so fucking slowly, but, like, one of the coolest parts of the first movie was how fast he moved his tail, and because he was moving something with that much mass so quickly, the energy that was released, like, caused huge amounts of destruction. It was super cool. And there were hints of really cool ideas, but then they had to get padded out into these three, like, decreasing in quality anime movies.
You know what would have made this better?
What?
Kiryu. And I don't mean like Kiryu sized up. I mean like 50-meter Kiryu. Just walking in.
No, because...
And then guns, and then just getting bitch slapped out. Because Kiryu is a goddamn disappointment.
Oh, man. I was gonna say, like, man, fucking Mecha Kiryu was just like, damn. Like, I'll be honest, like, even my lowest hopes for this anime trilogy, like, it just sucks because the first one, I was like, that was decent. I saw some cool stuff, and it was interesting. The second one was like, that was less... You know what the problem was? Is that they became less focused on story and more focused on exposition as each one went. Because I don't know if... Because I think you commented on it. Like, I really liked all the exposition about talking about Mechagodzilla City.
Mm-hmm.
Because I felt like we needed to talk about it because it was a complicated subject. But you were like, nothing's fucking happening. What the fuck are we doing? And then we get to the ultimate version of that, where they're literally commenting on Godzilla getting nibbled on.
Look, that's important.
And saying nothing. Nothing is getting explained. And we're watching this man have a panic attack, and when he finally comes to a conclusion, it's the conclusion that we already knew.
Well, yeah.
It was no new information.
We read the back of the box.
We didn't have to read the back of the box. It wasn't hard to figure it out.
That's good, because I don't know if the back of the box actually had anything on it.
Because they're like, we're gonna summon God from another dimension. Like, it's like, don't treat your audience like they're fucking morons. And don't make the scientist a fucking idiot.
Look, there's two kinds of scientists you get in the Godzilla franchise. Those who can properly deduce the plot through things, I guess. I don't remember what the Astro Monster scientists did, but they
weren't scientists. They were just they were the astronauts.
Well,
they
were
were smart people.
They were figuring out the plot as they needed to. And then on the other hand, you get a man who can read a block of space titanium and know all the events that were about to unfold.
Yeah, no.
You either get omnipotent scientists or people who just kind of figure things out as they need to.
Yeah, this was definitely space titanium levels of... No, this was...
Actually, yeah, you're right. This was neither of those.
No, it was...
I don't even know if that man was a scientist. He said he was, but I don't think he was.
I mean...
I think he might have been, like, a biologist. I guess that's a scientist, but...
Because, like, the thing that just, like, throws me the fuck off is that it takes them, like, 10 minutes to figure out this monster's from another dimension. Now, granted, I get how that might be a concept that's hard to understand. But it wasn't satisfying when he figured it out, and then but the problem was that information was required in order to determine how to defeat it.
Which was by doing absolutely nothing.
Well, by going and talking to Mothra, but like...
And then having Mothra do absolutely nothing.
Well, more or less.
Blow up a Dream World War II plane.
And then
even then, he was still having his doubts.
Yeah.
Even after Mothra came over and said, hey, don't listen to this crazy man. Also, he's a giant now or something. I don't know. That's his eye over there.
It's whatever. And then he grabs his grandpa's face, and it turns out to be the elf man's face. And then he breaks the contact, and then yeah, and then for some fucking reason, despite the fact that they were like the reason why Ghidorah can fight in this universe is because he's using the contact thing as an eye, and then he breaks it. But then Ghidorah becomes solid, and that makes no fucking sense.
Okay, so what happened is, because he's got the contact and whatnot, Ghidorah doesn't have to worry about being tangible. But then once the contact breaks, Ghidorah just freaks the fuck out and forgets about being tangible. He gets his jaw broken and then shot in the face, and then gravity explodes.
Fucking dumb.
Succinct.
Fucking stupid. Anyway,
Man, it sure would have been cool if Godzilla actually fought things.
You know, Here's the thing. The image in my head of when you told me the Ghidorah was like a... I believe you told me the Ghidorah was like a ghost. It was like this and I was seeing like Planet Eater. I'm like, he has to be like planet sized. It has to be fucking ridiculous. Everything in my head just saw like a more elegant looking, because this Ghidorah was not elegant. A more elegant looking Ghidorah, but like coming at the planet and being kind of wispy. And
What, like
I couldn't like. I was thinking like Gurren Lagann levels of like, what the fuck? How do we fight this?
Oh,
and then
no.
my brain couldn't complete where it goes from there, but that's what I saw. I saw it like coming out from I saw it coming out from like a portal, but what was coming out of the portal was all of Ghidorah, not the long thin spaghetti string with the head attached. That was lame.
Well, you see, I don't think Ghidorah actually physically eats plants. I just assume he wraps around it.
Yeah, but in this
with
case,
his infinite neck.
But that's the problem. It's the infinite neck, and like they kept showing like the really shitty silhouette with the wings, and they kept calling it the wings of death, but there were never any wings, and it was just
God,
like...
I want to see the other side, like where Ghidorah's ass ends. Like, do you think it's like a plate of spaghetti? Like, just in the middle there's Ghidorah's ass, and then just necks going around?
It's just literally the flying spaghetti monster.
No, I'm just picturing
No, it's the fucking flying spaghetti monster. The people who worship the flying spaghetti monster worship Ghidorah. I'm saying it now.
Can't believe it. Can't believe you figured out their cult.
It's crazy.
They're coming for you now.
Yeah, but don't worry. The Scientologists will fight them. They'll summon, I don't know, Megalon.
I mean, that's a god worth believing in.
No. Not Megalon.
Didn't you see him bitch slap that container and not kill the two people inside of it? Only a god could do that.
I'd rather worship Jet Jaguar.
I mean, wouldn't we all? But we're not given that choice. Not until Singular Point.
Damn. Anyway, alright. I think I got it out of me now. My problems with this series, and how somehow multi-part Godzilla series seem to just fall apart.
At least we didn't have a psychic trying to lift Godzilla. I mean, we did have telepaths, but they kind of kept that one to themselves.
Yeah.
They didn't go, well, I can see what Godzilla's thinking right now. He's mighty upset that you killed his baby.
Instead, we just got, okay, I had a point.
We got a battle of the minds, even though it didn't really happen. It was just, well, how did you know I was a telepath? Because you didn't react.
Well, because I didn't hear your inner voice. Was the idea.
Oh, well, you didn't react like everybody else was like worried and whatnot. You were just like, yeah, I'm an elf. Anyway.
Yeah.
So, Godzilla trilogy finally down and dusted.
Yeah, 24.6 average.
I don't know if we said that or not. Anyway, yeah, 24.6.
It's 2 points above Showa.
And like 3 points below Heisei.
Yep.
But you know what? It's still better than the Zilla duology.
Yeah.
And probably the whole of Power Hour.
That was 15.
That's unfortunate. Okay. Well. Alright, we'll see you guys later for the legendary Godzillas.
Hell yeah.